Those costumes and many more were created inside this Kmart. And none would have been possible without our amazing wardrobe department. Have you ever been at one of those old-time photo shops where you can dress up like a cowboy or a gangster or a barroom girl? How about the fun of a costume party where you can be whatever you want to be? Nothing puts you in the world like dressing the part. No place is that truer than the movies. Whether it's poor folks, rich folks, city folks, country kids, everyone has to look their part. And that's the job of the wardrobe department. And in the case of our two movies, Hazel and Medora, Empress of the Badland, that job fell on this beautiful and talented lady, Ruth Farland, and her amazing team. Hi, I'm J.B. Holbert, and welcome to our side of the story. On this channel, we will explore all the elements of storytelling, from writing novels to the challenge of publishing, screenwriting and filmmaking, from the first idea to the final edits. So make sure you follow us so you don't miss a single episode. On this episode, we're going to explore the amazing world of wardrobe and the vital role it plays in storytelling. Our wardrobe department had to completely outfit two different movies in two different time periods with very different characters. Our film Hazel will involve interior scenes of children and adults at home, at school, and out having fun. There will be outdoor scenes that start out on a nice winter day and progress into a horrific blizzard. In Hazel, we'll have school scenes with children dressed for a normal day at school, and rescue scenes with rugged frontiersmen dressed to face a North Dakota blizzard. In Medora, Empress of the Badlands, we'll go from an elite New Year's Eve party at a swanky New York apartment to hunting scenes shot outdoors in the Badlands. In one of Medora's scenes, a parade scene, when Medora first enters town, we'll have 176 extras in addition to the regular cast of characters that all need to be dressed period correct. So how does Ruth and her team tackle this enormous task? It starts with Ruth reading the script and studying the time. She combs through whatever historical photos are available. Then, with her amazing talent, she sketches her ideas for each costume. Ruth has to use her imagination because none of the photos are that good and show a 360-degree view of the clothes. Medora lived a privileged life in New York and France. She would have worn only the finest clothes of her day. So Ruth will create sketches and run them past Dan, the director, to make sure she's on the right path. Dan will consider the colors in the garments and how they will play with the colors of the sets that we're building. He will make sure that the overall image works and that the actors neither blend into or clash with the backgrounds. After his review, Ruth goes in search of the fabric. She'll find some at traditional fabric stores. Others she will have to take special trips to Minneapolis and beyond to find just the right unique fabric and trims, along with all the right buttons and hooks. Visitors to our Kmart studio were always amazed when Ruth would share her sketches and explain how the fabrics were chosen and the overall process of costume development. At this point, she assigns fabric that she has found to each of the designs. In the case of Bailey Tawney, the talented actress that plays the part of Medora in our film, she will get her exact measurements and go to work with her team to make the patterns. Then they will start the meticulous job of sewing these amazing gowns. For Medora alone, Ruth and her team will make 14 different full costumes. The result of this work is seen here as each sketch comes to life. From the gown she wears as the star of a parade to the housecoat that she wears to dance in the living room with her husband. From a simple smock she wears while she paints to an evening gown fit for a New Year's Eve gala. Ruth and her team creates them all. There's a lot of horseback riding in our movies, so Ruth will have to take that into consideration when she makes those garments. This process will be repeated for each character. In Medora, her husband, the Marquis, was a French nobleman. His costumes will have to reflect that upbringing. As the Marquis and his wife travel west, they encounter all kinds of characters living in the wilds of the Dakota Badlands. These cowboys and cowgirls will have to be costumed to match their place in the movie. My father-in-law, Ron Landenberger, he's now known as Heart River Rufus Jackson, came to life in his costume. Mika Fitzgerald looks very tough in the costumes built for his rugged character. His boss, Colin Ward, still a tough Badlands character, had to have just a little more finish in his costume. All the actors had to be carefully outfitted to be different yet timely correct, from villain to hero. And let's not forget the painted ladies of the day. They had to look their best despite the harsh conditions of the far west. In Hazel, the characters are from much more humble roots. Hazel Miner and her family are dirt-poor North Dakota pioneer farmers. Their neighbors, the Cooks, are a little better off, but still rural North Dakota farmers. Their costumes will have to reflect this place in society. Here, Stelio Savante looks all the part of a tough pioneer. His wife, played by Lori Fortier, looks ready to take on the tough prairie life. There's a lot of kids in the Hazel movie. These kids had to be dressed for school and an evening birthday party. Actors also had to be dressed to face the hellish North Dakota blizzard. And keep in mind, they were dressed for a blizzard while working in a 70-degree building, so keeping the actors and extras cool was a chore. Here, Madeline Dundon, our Hazel, takes a moment to cool off. Then she watches a scene she just finished filming with one of her co-stars, our studious school teacher, Franny Ray Cash Kane, who is still dressed in her winter costume.
Are you videoing guys?
Yes, I am.
We're in a movie.
Okay, hold it. Teaser moment. Some of you may recognize Franny Ray Cash Kane as the Grammy-nominated singer that she is. Our school teacher, Franny, collaborated with our orchestral composer, William Vanderkramert, and created one of the most beautiful songs you will ever hear. Okay, I know that's a big statement, but I will put it up against any song from any movie ever. Months later, after we had heard the song, we decided to bring Franny back from Nashville to our studio here in Bismarck. Here, Jackie Stillwell, one of our gifted local makeup artists, gets Franny ready to film the music video for Next to You. The single Next to You and the music video to go along with it will be released in the summer of 2025. Download it wherever you get your music and be ready to have your heart warmed and your soul filled with the love and spirit of this masterful song. I will have a series of episodes on the creation of this masterpiece. I'll share interviews where Franny and Will try to explain the creative magic that gave us this beautiful song. Make sure you follow this channel to be the first to hear all of this breathtaking song. Along with the stars were hundreds of extras, or background talent as they're called, that had to be dressed period correct. Each extra was given a form like this to fill out. It was Ruth and her team's job to make sure all the extras were ready, from pants to shirts, and in many cases of that time period, hats. Man, did we have hats! Hats were a major element of every costume. They also completed the social status of the extra characters, from farmer to important dignitary to farm wife. We had them all. In Medora, the Marquis hat plays an important role. It gets more bullet holes in it as the story progresses. Sometimes the hats were worn proudly. Sometimes the characters had hat in hand. The wardrobe department's job doesn't end when the filming starts. Here, Janet adds a little snow to each character as they enter the snowscape at the Kmart. Costume continuity is a big part of wardrobe's responsibility. Here, Janet checks photos on her phone to make sure the scarf hangs the same way scene to scene. Here, Kirsten Hoff and Sienna Varlin go over Medora's costume in detail while the Marquis shoots at villains in the background. Professionals from wardrobe and makeup are always on set watching to make sure every character is looking their best for their part in the storytelling process. Follow us so you don't miss the upcoming fun episode about makeup. Don't miss the upcoming episodes where we'll talk to the professionals that made the costumes that made our movies. Don't forget to follow us, it really does make a difference. Don't take those costumes for granted next time you see a movie. Thanks for watching us. We'll see you soon.